but which with God's help we'll thoroughly extirpate. Say, the lass is a daughter of Alice Nutter. Ha! That accounts for your gruesome looks, lad. Odd life, I see it now. I understand what's the matter with you. Look at him, Sir Gilbert. Look at him, I say. Does nothing strike you as strange about him?
"Nothing more than he is naturally embarrassed by your Majesty's mode of speech," replied the knight.
Ah, you lack the penetration of the king, Sir Gilbert," cried James. "I will tell you what ails him. He's bewitched, forspoken."
Exclamations were uttered by all the bystanders, and every eye was fixed on Richard, who felt ready to sink to the ground.
"I affirm he is bewitched," continued the king, "and we sae likely to do it as the glamoring hizzie that has ensnared him. She has ill blood in her veins, and can chant devil's cantrips too well as the mither, or any gar carlin of them a'." "You are mistaken, sire," cried Richard, earnestly. "Alizon will be here to day with my father and sister, and if you deign to receive her, I am sure you will judge her differently." "We shall perpend the point of receiving her," replied the king, gravely; "but we are rarely mistaken, young man, and seldom change our opinion except on good grounds, and those your arena is like to offer us. Belike ye hae been lang ill." "Oh, no, your Majesty. I was suddenly seized about a month ago," replied Richard. "Ah! Suddenly seized, eh?" exclaimed James, winking cunningly at those near him. "And ye swaffit hoarse with the banes. I guessed it. And where was Alizon the while?" "At that time she was a guest at Middleton," replied Richard; "but it is impossible my illness can in any way be attributed to her. I will answer with my life for her perfect innocence." "Ye may have to answer wi' your life for your misplaced faith in her," said the king; "but I tell you nothing nothing wicked at all events is impossible to witches, and the haill case, even by your own showing, is very suspicious. I have heard somewhat of the story of Alice Nutter, but not the haill truth. But there are folks here who can enlighten us more fully. Thus much I do ken, that she is a notorious witch and a fugitive from justice. Though it blinds you, Master Nicholas Assheton could give an inkling of her hiding place if you were so disposed. Nay, no, look, doited man," he added, laughing, "I bring nae charges against you. Ye arena on your trial noo, but this is a serious matter, and maun be seriously considered before we dismiss it. You see, Alison will be here to day. Say if a' will, can you contrive to produce the mother too, Master Nicholas?" "Sire!" exclaimed Nicholas. "Nay, then, we maun gang our ain way to work," continued James. "We're told you hae a petition to offer us, and our will and pleasure is that you present it afore we go forth to the chase, and after we have partaken of our matutinal refection, which we will nae longer delay, for sooth to say we are well nigh famished. Look ye, sirs, neither of you is to quit Hoghton tower without our permission had and obtained. We do not place you under arrest, neither do we inhibit you from the chase or other sports, but you are to remain here at our sovereign pleasure. Have we your word that you will not attempt to disobey the injunction?" "You have mine, undoubtedly, sire," replied Richard. "And mine too," added Nicholas, "and I hope to justify myself before your Majesty." "We shall be weel pleased to hear you do it, man," rejoined the king, laughing, and shuffling on. "But we hae our doubts we hae our doubts." "His Majesty talks of going to breakfast, and says he is famished," observed Nicholas to Sherborne, as the king departed; "but he's completely taken away my appetite." "No wonder," replied the other. CHAPTER VII.